Hey, Shalom, Shalom. This is Rabbi Yoshiyahu Ben Shofar. I've got a couple requests to answer the question about meat and dairy separation, which is found in the Talmud and the corresponding scriptures in the Torah. And so, Rebecca, this is to answer your question. Why do Orthodox Jews separate meat and dairy? And the easy answer is that the rabbis of blessed memory, may peace be upon them, said that because there appears 3 times in the Torah a prohibition or a indication of a prohibition of combining meat and dairy, that they further that prohibition by saying that you can't have meat and dairy on the same plate. And this obviously comes into question when we look at Genesis 18:8, where, in the book of Genesis 18, we see that Abraham is visited by Hashem. And in fact, verse 1 says, "And now Adonai appeared to Abraham." And so the question then becomes, in verse 8, where Abraham brings him meat and milk and curds, which is like a cream cheese or a cottage cheese. If there's a prohibition, if the Talmud says you can't serve meat and dairy together, why did Abraham serve to Hashem, of all people, meat and dairy? And of course the Talmud's response is, see how great a person Abraham is in that he respects the customs of that area. Well, there's nothing to indicate that that was a custom of that area. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Abraham, of all people, who is the father of courtesy and hospitality. I don't think he was keeping a custom. I think he was simply bringing something to eat out. A couple of things that are very important is Hashem eats it. Now the rabbis say, he eats it, but not in a way that we understand. Well, okay, fine. The Torah text just simply says he eats it. It doesn't say he makes it disappear. It doesn't say he doesn't eat it. Okay? Certainly the creator of the universe, if he decides he wants to have a little meat and cheese and bread and milk, he can do that. So the prohibition of having meat and dairy, I don't eat stroganoff because I don't believe in cooking meat and dairy. That's just my personal opinion that I derive from the text. Most certainly it says don't boil the kid in the mother's milk, or don't boil the calf in the mother's milk, or don't boil the goat in the mother's milk. And that may be a humane thing. It may have nothing to do with anything scientific or digestive, scientifically concluding that meat cooked in milk may affect our digestive system. I don't know. The protein of the milk and the acid of the I don't know. But whatever the reason, I don't eat meat boiled in milk because I can't guarantee that that isn't the mother's milk for that cow. Even though in America they say, but Rabbi, our dairy cows are never butchered for meat and our meat cows are never used for dairy, so they can't be mother and calf. How do we know? How do we know that that farmer didn't take that calf and sell it to the meat farmer and, you end up putting that gallon of milk, into a pot and throw some chunks of meat in there and you're actually boiling the calf in the mother's milk. So for me personally, I don't eat meat boiled in milk. Unless it's like I'm eating deer meat cooked in like cow's milk, something that can't be related. And I really don't go for that either, but I'm just giving you an example. Now, if you say to me, Rabbi, does that mean you won't have a cheeseburger? No, I never said that. Because if you think about the text, he brought him bread, curds, which is like cottage cheese, milk, and meat. And they ate it. Somehow, some way, it's getting mixed together in his mouth. Okay? It wasn't cooked in the milk. Okay. So, meat and cheese together is probably okay. Like if you wanted to have, a pita bread with some steak and some Philly cream cheese on it. I'm not going to say, you've broken the Torah. Who am I, an idiot? The Torah plainly says, and don't listen to the rabbis when they go, no, wait, you don't understand what the text is saying. Hogwash. The text says what the text says. They want to interpret it on a sod mystical level, meaning we should never combine meat and dairy for whatever purity's sake, whatever. The text simply says, don't boil the calf in the mother's milk. So, if you want to have a cheeseburger, which most of the cheeses that are found on hamburgers aren't really cheese anyways, mostly vegetable oil, or if you have a craft, which is, milk, whatever, I'm not going to nail you to the wall. The Torah doesn't really prohibit a cheeseburger. However, stroganoff, there can be an argument for. So, enjoy. I hope you find some answers and found some peace in this. If you have any more questions, Rebecca, you can email me, or if anybody has any questions, you can email me. Otherwise, this is Rav Yoshi saying Shalom Shalom, Ahava Rabbah.